What's going on, everybody? It is Monday afternoon after a long day. Checking in on episode 9. I just went and did some real estate stuff for most of the day today. Also balancing some dental stuff, responding to my doctors throughout the day. But for the most part today was focused on another side of real estate that I actually haven't really tapped into fully yet, and that's being a ranch broker and selling land. So today I went out and looked at a property in Orlando, Texas, and also property in Dripping Springs. The one in Dripping Springs is being listed for just over $5 million, and the property in Orlando is being listed for $7.1 million. So obviously I'm not the one that's listing them. I would love to get that $150,000 commission check, but I am lucky enough to have shadowed the listing agent for that property, or both those properties, matter of fact. His name is Sonny Allen. He's a big time ranch broker here in Central Texas, and he's been in the industry for over 40 years. So the guy really knows what he's doing. He's built up his clientele to the point that he can work with these big dogs, like the ones that he's helping out right now, and we went and the properties we went to go look at today. But it really puts in perspective, like, success is all a matter of patience. It takes a long time to get there, and he's trying to get me to come on board and work for him. And one of the things that I expressed to him, one of my concerns was, look, I'm making great money right now, more money than a lot of people make after working 20, 30, 40 years in their respected fields. And for me to step away from what I got going on and go into his industry, am I going to be able to make that same money within my first year or two? And he's like, look, no, it's not likely. You take that risk of walking away from what you got going on to come into my industry, and it could possibly take you 5, 6, 7 years to get to the same point where you're at now. But once you hit year 10, once you hit year 15, once you hit year 20, you're making 2, 3, 4 times the amount that you would be making if you just continued to stay in the industry that you're in. And that's true, right? Real estate is solely commission based. So if you're in it long enough, you can really make a lot of money. And so he was talking to me about it, and he's like, but look, like, it's going to take you a long time to get to that point. It's going to take you a lot of years of building relationships, learning the industry, making a name for yourself, and establishing that credibility so that you can be where I'm at. And that was one of the big reasons why I was a little bit hesitant to make the jump, and why I'm a little bit still hesitant to make the jump. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm in a good place right now. If I came back to you in about 12 months, would the opportunity still be there? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. I would love for you to be a part of my team. If now's not the right time, then come back to me when the time is right. And we shook hands, and we and I left. But I got some great content today from going to look at those properties. And I'll make sure to throw that in here to start off episode 9. And then also, we'll get into some of the other things that are going on. I got my speech coming up in a week from today. Maybe I'll record a little bit of me practicing for the speech. If not, you guys will certainly see the entire speech, the entire video on YouTube at some point later next week. So that's it. Episode 9. Here we go. Road to $1 million. Peace.
I got to get inside and take the suit.
So that's tethered down so it doesn't get blown away?
That's pretty smart, isn't it?
Is it running?
many screws, you know. It's got probably about 50 or 20 screws in it, so I have to get Robert to come back out and unscrew it. You know.
What's going on, everybody? I am driving into the parking lot of my alma mater, my high school, Bowie High School, where I'm going to speak in just a couple days. I got a meeting to go over all my tech stuff and to make sure that I am set up and ready to go for 9:30 and 10:30 next Tuesday. So I'm gonna pull in, I'm gonna park in the parking garage real fast. I'm gonna go in there, have a meeting with the principal, the college counselor, and the tech team, just to get it all set up. This guy's all looking back at me like, why is this guy videotaping me? I'm not trying to do that, buddy, I promise. But yeah, I'm gonna go in here and I'll talk to y'all afterwards. See y'all. What's going on, everybody? Quick update here. I'm driving home right now after going and visiting with the counselor at the high school that's helping me put together this speech for the senior class, the graduating class. And you know, I was just thinking, you know, I have all these things going on in the real estate world. I got these things going on in dental sales, but you know, ultimately, what makes me happy, what I enjoy to do deep down, is just genuinely giving back and helping other people. And I see myself delivering this speech all across the country. I got a bigger vision for myself, and I think that I can be on a bigger stage than, you know, small town South Austin. You know, I think that I can really make a name for myself, and I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe I have the power within me to go and change an entire generation. Now, I know those are lofty goals, and saying that sounds pretty brash and arrogant, but I also feel like you have to have that confidence. If you have $1 million dream, you can't let someone with a $30,000 salary talk you out of it, right? Like, you have to look at life that way, because it's the dreamers that are the trailblazers. That they're the ones that make history, because they imagine it. They imagine doing things differently, and that imagination and that visualization is what makes those things come true, because the universe attracts, you attract things in the universe that you put out there, the energy you put out. And I might have just butchered that explanation, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying, I hope. But I got this speech coming up, and I this morning, actually, I met with some neighbors. Whenever I initially sold my book, initially got my author copies from the publisher, I went around and sold my book door to door. I knocked on doors and talked to people that I grew up around, and people that I don't know that have just recently moved into the neighborhood, and just said, hey, you know, this is who I am. I got a book I'm trying to sell. I'd love if you buy one. And obviously the pitch was a lot more in depth than that, but there is this one lady that also wrote a book, and she was super sweet and super helpful, and said, hey, you know, come back sometime, let's chat. And so here we are 3-4 months later, and I have this big speaking engagement, and she told me, well, that's amazing. We haven't had the chance to get together and talk about your book. How about you come over and practice your speech in front of me and my partner? And so I came over and I did that, and they were telling me, you got a gift, Matt, and you have the power within you to go and change a lot of lives. You can be the voice of those that don't have a voice. You can be a voice of the voiceless. You can let your message be heard, not just here in South Austin, but all across the country. You have the power to do that. And they were telling me, but if you do that, you got to remember that what your purpose is. If your purpose is to give back, if your purpose is explaining the power of generosity, make sure you make that a point in the speech. And so after I sat down with them, and after I went and visited with the high school, I'm driving around just 10-15 minutes ago thinking about, maybe that's a good way to end the speech. Maybe it's a good way to really re-emphasize the importance of generosity, the importance of making a difference, the importance of giving back. And I say these things in these videos, but hearing it from someone else is always reassuring. It reinforces it, and really made me realize I need to go back in my speech and I need to make sure that I get that point across. Because guys, it's not about us. It's not about all our accomplishments. It's not about the notoriety that we achieve. It's not about the things that we do, the money we make, the success we have. All that's for nothing if you don't do something to give back. If you don't use your platform, if you don't use your success to give back and help other people, it's all for nothing. And so, I have all this anxiety for this speech. I'm super nervous, but the nerves, the pressure's taken off when I realize, like, hey, I'm going up there to try to help people. I'm going up to really try to make a difference. There's not as much pressure when it's not about you. Life's not as stressful when it's not about you, right? And so, I just wanted to hop on here and kind of rant a little bit about that, because it's something I'm super passionate about, giving back and helping others. And I just hope that I can kind of leave my mark on the world and maybe be the leader that other people decide to follow, and be the person that other people look up to and say, I want to be like that guy, not because of how much money he has, not because of the fancy car or the big house, but because of his heart. Because of his heart. And so I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna touch up this speech a little bit. I'm gonna practice it some more. I'm going to the JW Marriott tonight with some of my buddies. We're gonna go work out, and then I'm gonna try to sneak in the conference room, hop on the podium, and pretend that I'm in front of that high school delivering my first speech ever, but also visualizing that this is the first of many. There's more to come. And one of these days I'll be in front of thousands of people, not hundreds, and change lives. So, we'll talk to y'all in a little bit. What's up, guys? I'm just getting inside. I just ate, and now I am working on my computer a little bit to send out some updates, some emails about supply chain shortages to all my dental offices, responding to some emails, sending off some orders. And then I'm going to work on my speech here in a little bit. But something I just wanted to quickly say is this. It's not talent that gets you to center stage. It's audacity. Going on stage in front of 500 students, my friends, my family, that terrifies me. But if you don't have the audacity to go out and make something happen, if you don't have the audacity to go up there and do what terrifies you, you will never achieve your dream. You have to work your butt off every day. You have to get comfortable in being uncomfortable. You have to be audacious. There's probably hundreds of thousands of people that are better public speakers than I am. Hundreds of thousands of people that have a better story than I do. Hundreds of thousands of people who are smarter than I am and can write better than I can. But you know what? They weren't audacious enough to walk into Bowie High School and tell the principal, hey, I got a message that I want to share. I think it can benefit the students. Give me a shot. And if anybody tells you you can't do something, it's because they don't think they can. Just because they can't do something doesn't mean you can. So guys, remember, it's not talent that gets you to center stage. It's audacity. Don't ever forget that. Sean and I have arrived at the JW Marriott to get some studying in for tonight. Showing y'all the view real fast. Grind don't stop. So what's good, Sean?
What up?
Everywhere it's pretty cool.
Dude, this is all for like, most of this is all for like neurology and like fixing shit in the brain and like crazy new tech like that.
Medtronic. Medical device sales. Oh wow. Oh wow. Welcome back everybody. We're at the JW Marriott right now. I unfortunately am not able to use the conference room that has the podium and the microphone that I wanted to practice on. But I did find this meeting room. So I got my little setup here. We got these server trays with my laptop, my water, you know, all that good stuff. And then of course we have the room that I'm in. So gives me a good feel, you know, kind of the height that the podium is going to be on, and it allows me to be in an open room, open auditorium with a feel that might be similar to standing on stage. Granted, it would be better to actually be on stage in that conference room, but as you just saw in the videos that I added in, Medtronic is in town doing a big convention, so they're all hanging out in there. So I'll try to go in there maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometime within the next couple days, to help me truly get a feel of what being on stage is like in front of a whole bunch of chairs and tables and seats and all that. But for now, this will do. And I'm gonna get in here and try to run through this speech a couple times before working out with my buddy Sean and kind of wrapping up the day. So I'm gonna get to it, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. Post-study, post-practice speech session. Out here hitting a quick lift at the J-Dub. That's what we do. Man's even got his backpack on still. Boom. We are finishing episode 9. I just wanted to touch base with y'all one last time and share a thought that I had before I finished this video. There were years where every night I'd go to sleep and I'd watch a YouTube video. I'd watch YouTube videos over and over and over and over. It's like, man, I love watching YouTube. It's so entertaining. There's so much great content out there. But then I had this epiphany. It was like, I'm watching so much YouTube, watching so many other people get successful off YouTube, grow their brand and market themselves and make a name for themselves online. And here I am just sitting there watching them become more successful when I could be doing that myself. So I stopped watching as much YouTube as I was and told myself, why don't I just start making YouTube videos myself and do exactly what they're doing? There's no reason I can't do it, right? Like, I can do it if they can do it. And so here we are making YouTube videos rather than watching them. So for those of you that are in the same boat, I encourage you to do the same thing. Don't go after it. Go do it. Just make it happen. Like, you guys can do it too. And I'm sure all of you have great stuff that you can share, great advice, great insight, great guidance. And people need to hear that. People need to hear your voice. So don't be afraid to get out there. Don't be afraid to get uncomfortable and sit in front of a camera, because your voice needs to be heard. So that's it. Episode 9 is coming to a close. I'm going to film episode 10 throughout the weekend. And then after that, I'm going to start a completely new season. The next season of videos is going to be really focused on specific concepts. How I invest, maybe a video on how I started, maybe a video on some side jobs that I've done over the years that I can give you guys insight on, maybe a video on some mistakes I've made along the way, or my college experience, or what I do in a day-to-day in the dental world, rather than a day-to-day in real estate, or like apartment locating, or any of the other things I've shared. So season 1 this season, Road to a Million, it's going to have 10 episodes, and then every season after that it's going to have 10 episodes too. But this finishes episode 9. I'll shoot episode 10 over the weekend, and I'll see you guys back on the camera very, very soon. Peace.